Personally, I never thought I'd see the day, but here we are, the end of Fortnite Chapter 2. Now, obviously I wasn't going to miss this event, so I got a couple of the boys on, and we all loaded up to save the island despite the fact that we all want a new one. So essentially what happens is when you first load into the game, the blue cube appears that was on the bottom right corner of the map, and it creates a protective barrier around this encampment area that you're going to end up using to fight the Cube Queen. And nothing can damage you through that barrier, but you also can't leave the barrier, so you're kind of just stuck there. As I sit and watch the countdown hit 0, I realize that this will be my last time ever seeing the Fortnite Chapter 2 map, and that when this is all over, we will have a brand new experience. And honestly, good riddance. This map has been here for way too long. I'm glad they didn't decide to extend this an extra 2 seasons. I want new content. After charging up energy, essentially the Cube Queen just tears a hole in reality and kind of breaks all the laws of physics while doing this. Maybe also space-time. I don't know. But apparently there's just a huge fleet of warships there waiting to blow everyone up. She also sent mini UFOs to attack us, but luckily our little friend Kevin the Blue Cube was protecting us, so we didn't take any damage. Unfortunately though, the barrier began to fall apart and we started getting attacked and could actually take damage, which was not ideal. She also sent her goons called caretakers to attack us, but luckily we had weapons, which allowed us to fight back for a good amount of time. That was until they got rid of our weapons and we couldn't actually fight back anymore. While I was running away, I turned around and saw Kevin the Cube was protecting us from the evils of the Cube Queen, but unfortunately, his last stand was futile, as he was to be destroyed by a lightning bolt from the sky. Rest in peace, Kevin. You will be missed. Anyways, the camera pans down into a bunker where we find Sloan, who's the person that betrayed us on the last live event, and Agent Jonesy. And essentially, Sloan is not happy with literally everything Agent Jonesy has been doing, and so is prepared to kill him or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is that she was trying to do, but he starts getting a little dizzy or tired or whatever. But someone shows up, and that someone is the Foundation, who we all thought was lost, and he got some sick power-ups apparently, and can now just, I guess, disintegrate people? And yeah.
I watched you die.
Oh yeah, it turns out he's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I guess she knows who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is. I'm not going to question that. I mean, hey, at this point, Epic has so much money they can just buy the rights to anyone. Okay, so they start running away from all the IO people, and they hope to flip the island onto its other side, where the Foundation needs Jonesy to hold them off for a bit of time until he can actually manage to flip the island. Anyways, so the Foundation calls in a bit of air support, which is the scientist and the visitor from the previous chapter, and we finally find out what's in the bunkers that have been hidden around the map ever since the beginning of Fortnite, really. So everyone jumps into the bunker, and the scientist follows right after the visitor leaves. And yeah, this is what's crazy is we've never known what's inside the bunkers until now, and it turns out it's just been the IO all along. And so we start following the Foundation while we run all the way through a bunch of hallways, and eventually we meet up with the Foundation and Agent Jonesy at the 0 point. Scientist keeps saying how the area will hold, but a caretaker shows up and starts breaking everything, and everyone gets to go for a little swim. And so the screen cuts to black, and then it shows us rushing out of the area, and then eventually we rise to the surface, and the next thing we see is the island flipped on its side with the portal still there, despite the fact that the Cube Queen is definitely just firing a highly concentrated beam of energy that we've seen can literally rip open the fabric of space-time, but apparently it's not doing literally anything right now. And so, as you're gonna see, the island is going to tip over, the Cube Queen falls into the water in a giant splash, and the portal kinda just disappears. I don't know if that's how physics and stuff like that works, because I've personally never seen a hole to another dimension get opened up in real life. I don't think anyone has. Those two UFOs kind of just got obliterated right there. And so yeah, there's the new island, and this doesn't look like the old island, and it doesn't look like the old island purely because it really looks different and more deserty, purely based off of the silhouette we get, because the old island had a volcano in the top right, and that doesn't look like a volcano. Oh, and everything's perfectly fine except for the tsunami that's just going to take us out right here, and blackout. So yeah, this is essentially the black hole of this chapter, and now we're just left floating here, and indefinitely really, whenever Epic decides to not have us floating here anymore. And hold on, let's look at something real quick. So it says here that severe brain damage can cause unconsciousness for days, weeks, or even longer. And seeing that the Fortnite servers are going to be down for at least a day, probably two, possibly even longer, is it just canon that our Fortnite characters have severe brain damage? Because that, I feel like, ruins a lot. In other news, I'm probably on FBI watch list for even looking up something like this, so if I don't post a video for a while, it's probably because the FBI found me. And I'd just like to say that this is a joke. It's not actually serious. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe. I also will have an unedited version of the live event if you guys want to watch the full one. It's got no commentary, so that way you can just enjoy the full event. And I will see you guys in the next video.